just in, 4.5 million Americans quit their jobs in November, a new record. The quit rate of 3% tied September's all-time high. About 43 million people quit jobs from January to November 2021, millions more than anything ever seen before. The Great Resignation shows no signs of slowing. And if you look at that chart there, I mean, you could see as the year went on, what is that? Yeah. Is that as total US? Yeah, it continued rapidly going up by month. We've talked about this before, but what do you ascribe all of a sudden? Millions of people who in previous days maybe didn't have as many choices are saying enough of this, enough of low wage work, enough of exploitation, enough of my benefits being cut, enough of me having to work 2 to 3 jobs, enough of workers or employers demanding I come in while COVID positive, which we're seeing more of. What is giving workers the leverage, and what are some things people might not be thinking about in terms of the Great Resignation?
I think there's some other stuff going on there, right? The rise of crypto has allowed regular Jane and Joe six-pack to be able to become Wall Street traders in their own right. And I think people are, there's winners and losers, and there's a lot of ups and downs in this. But I think people have begun doing various things to try to make themselves check out of the system. I think part of it is obviously the low wages, and they're not really changing that. They're still crying poor mouth. But I think the other part of it, and this is really important. Congress, the powers that be, disciplines labor when labor starts having freedom. When labor starts doing this stuff, they start talking about inflation. They start talking about the debt. They start talking about we can't afford to do that. They start doing things that peel back and bring austerity in, that force those people to deplete their assets, to deplete their savings, to bring them back into the fold. And so while you're seeing this mass resignation occur, you're also simultaneously watching the implosion of a spending bill that would have probably made the economy at least have enough money in it, flows in the economy, to at least keep it from bottoming out. Without that kind of spending, I mean, voting is not a spending bill, okay? Right. The Voting Act is not a spending bill. So that means new money creation to spend out into the society isn't going to happen through that. So with Build Back Better, which was a shitty bill to begin with, but at least it was inserting some money into the economy where it was needed, since it's all pooling at the top. And this was spent at the top, so it wouldn't really help us out much anyway, but it would help out some. Some of it would eke through the cracks. The whole trickle-down theory, we're not even getting that trickle down here, So it's a real tough one, Jordan. But the fact of the matter is that the Great Resignation, I think, is going to be followed by the great austerity to force them back into the system, because that's what this is. It's all about disciplining labor, disciplining society, and making it a challenge to live without buying back in. So watch for that.
I'm stealing the great austerity. I think that's very good in a really dystopian, terrible way. Yeah, you're probably right. And you want to know something? I think they'll do it in a variety of ways. Increase interest rates. I think they'll do it in other ways, continued inflation, i.e. price gouging. They're going to do it in a bunch of ways once this Omicron and COVID surge goes down, so that it is a less, what do they say, elastic economy?
Oh, yes.
Or, yeah.
If you go back to 2009, I lost a 17-year career at Verizon. I didn't think I'd had a problem in the world. I just got my second master's degree. Folks, I'm an educated dude. I really went through all the process that they tell you to do, right? It took me 18 months to be able to get back on my feet and find a job. And that job that I got was at 1/3 of the pay 18 months later. 1/3 of the pay. Now, if you don't think they can make your life a living hell, I don't know if you remember, people were driving 4 hours away to go work at Walmart. Just to work at Walmart. 4-hour drive to get work. 1/3 of the pay. That's not an accident. This is the disciplining of society to make you heal. And you're not slaves. You're not on the plantation. You're not in chains, but you are in invisible chains. And these invisible chains are called debt. And they make the society so difficult to survive. And they're willing to, because they can survive anything. They've got real wealth. They've got real assets. And they've got the ability to sit there and go, you'll do what I say. You will do what I say. You don't have any say so in it. You will do what I say, or you won't eat. And that's what's happened. I'm telling you that's coming. That's coming. We experienced it in 08 and 09, and it kept going. I think we're headed right back to it. Corruption hasn't ended, and we're still watching the austerity hounds chuckle around and be on every talk show. And the rest of our population, unfortunately, isn't probably listening to this. Not enough anyway. And so because of that, they're out there listening to these talking heads that are telling them it's all impossible. And while people check out, watch how quickly they have to check back in.